Welcome to Gas Ed. Today we will be discussing how AI can automate sales proposals end-to-end using NN and Gamma. Let's dive right in.
So, picture this. You've just hopped off a really productive discovery call with a potential client. The energy is great, the fit is completely obvious, but then, reality sets in. What actually happens next? For a lot of us, it's a super painful bottleneck. You're suddenly stuck wasting hours just manually reviewing transcripts, drafting those post-call deliverables from scratch, and painstakingly designing slide decks. It's just a massive drain on your productivity and, honestly, your momentum. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the post-call bottleneck, then the system overview. After that, logging meetings, generating proposals, the Gamma API integration, and finally, the payoff.
Section 1. The post-call bottleneck and the manual drain.
All right, so this is the manual drain we're going to completely eliminate today. Normally, your call ends, you sit around waiting for a transcript, you stare blankly at a page trying to draft copy, and then, finally, you're forced to play amateur graphic designer. Look, nobody went to business school to become a full-time copy paster, right? It's literally a terrible use of your expertise.
Section 2. Our automation system overview, focusing on a modular workflow.
Now, our overarching architecture here isn't just one massive, tangled workflow. That would be a nightmare to maintain. Instead, it's strictly modular. Phase 1 handles logging the meeting data, and Phase 2 handles generating the proposal. You might be wondering, why do it this way? Well, it's all about scalability. Splitting them up lets you easily route different clients down entirely different automated paths later on, all without breaking your whole system.
Plus, separating those phases allows us to standardize our inputs. So you might want to generate a proposal via an automated webhook right after a meeting ends. That'd be Route B. But what if you need to build a deck for a really old meeting? You'd use a manual form submission for that, Route A. By funneling both of these into a dynamic set node in N8, the pipeline functions flawlessly, no matter how you originally triggered it. Section 3, Phase 1, Logging Meetings, which is our data capture phase.
Okay, the absolutely crucial point here is ensuring data integrity. The process kicks off with a webhook trigger the second your meeting software finishes recording. But here's a little technical catch you'll run into. Those AI-generated summaries and action items, they aren't always ready the exact second the raw transcript is done. So we use what's called pulling logic. The system patiently loops, just checking over and over if the AI summary exists yet. Once it finally does, a code node steps in to clean up the messy JSON data, like identifying exactly who is speaking, and then it perfectly logs all of this pristine information right into a brand new row on a Google Sheet.
Section 4, Phase 2, Generating Proposals. This is the AI generation phase.
But wait, before we actually generate anything, we need to introduce a really critical safety net. It's called human in the loop. Basically, this means requiring manual approval before an AI system executes any final high-stakes action. In this setup, our system sends an automated Slack message that just asks, "Hey, would you like to generate a proposal?" You simply click yes or no. This is absolutely vital, guys. It reassures you that the AI isn't going to accidentally send unverified hallucinations to your clients or just burn through all your API credits without explicit human verification. Right, so once you give the green light, your AI agent takes over. And to guide it, we use a highly structured prompt split into two core areas. First, we have strict agent rules. The AI has to maintain a client-facing tone, it can never mention that it's an AI, and it needs to make confident assumptions to fill in any minor data gaps. Second, we give it the proposal structure. It has to output an executive summary, a proposed solution, and the projected ROI. We are literally handing the AI the exact framework it needs to transform those raw transcripts into a highly polished business narrative.
Section 5, Connecting to the Gamma API to visualize all that text.
To actually visualize the proposal, NN sends a JSON payload over to Gamma. Let's demystify these key parameters really quick. Input text is simply the narrative our AI just wrote. Theme ID enforces your specific custom brand colors. But listen, the absolute most vital parameter here is setting text mode to preserve. You cannot overlook this one. Preserve ensures Gamma doesn't try to get clever and rewrite or condense the text, which protects all the hard work your AI agent just executed.
Section 6, Reviewing the final output and looking at the business value.
When you finally open that generated DAC, the insights are immediately actionable. Look at this. 350 plus hours saved. The AI successfully extracted the client's specific pain points from the transcript and automatically projected these ROI metrics directly onto the slides. It drafted implementation roadmaps, it highlighted cost savings, giving you a really powerful, customized business case. And the best part?
It was all generated while you were just taking a breather after the call. But let's ground ourselves for a second and reiterate a core business school reality. AI gets you about 90% of the way there. This automation builds the heavy framework, structuring the entire narrative and designing the slides flawlessly. But it's not magic. It's not 100% perfect. A generated graph might have slightly off colors, or an assumption might need a little human tweak. But the beauty of this system is that it leaves you to just apply that final 10% polish. You're turning what used to be a draining 3-hour chore into a quick 10-minute review. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to think about. How will you automate your next client proposal? Are you going to stick to the old, painful bottleneck, or will you build an intelligent, scalable architecture that actually works for you? That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.